this is a fictional story, this is also a story that could very well be real. Stranger things have definitely happened. Unsuspecting passengers were very, very unaware that the bats were already on the train before anyone stepped on board in Miami. Long before the first boarding announcement echoed through the terminal, before the doors slid open and the passengers lined up with coffees and carry-ons, the Floridian sat quietly on the platform, engines humming, lights low. That's when the darkness moved. From beneath the concrete, from storm drains and service tunnels, they came, not in a swarm, not flying, but flowing. Hundreds of bats climbed the undercarriage, clinging to brake lines and cables, squeezing through ventilation gaps meant for air, not life. They slipped into the hollow spaces beneath the coach floors and nested there, layered and silent. By the time the platform filled with people, Coach 4 was already breathing. No one noticed the faint rustling under the carpet as they boarded. No one questioned the strange warmth radiating from the floor. Miami closed its doors behind them, and the train began to roll north. The bats stayed still. They learned the rhythm of the rails. They memorized the vibration of sleep. The lights dimmed after Fort Lauderdale. Conversation softened. Bodies sagged into seats. Phones slipped from their hands. Between West Palm Beach and Sebring, something changed. A pressure shift. A long, low stretch of swamp where the train felt alone. The first scream came from a man jolted awake by the sensation of breathing beneath his shoes. He stood, and the floor moved. The carpet rippled like skin over muscles. Then the bats woke up. They poured out from under his seats in black waves, climbing legs, arms, faces, not fleeing, searching. Wings beat against the walls. Shrieks drilled into skulls. They tangled in hair, but fingers raised in defense clawed at anything warm and exposed. People trampled each other, trying to reach the aisle. Someone fell and vanished beneath the surge, screaming until the sound turned wet and gurgling. The air filled with ammonia, blood, and the coppery scent of panic. A woman shone her phone flashlight under the seat. Hundreds of eyes stared back. They weren't panicking. They were waiting. The bats climbed upward, swarming, mouths open to scream, forcing their way into ears, nostrils, down collars. A child went silent as wings wrapped around her face like a hood. The conductor tried to enter the car. The door slammed shut from the inside. The train stopped in the middle of nowhere. Miles of swamp, no signal, no sound, but sobbing and chittering. Then, just as suddenly it ended, the bats retreated. They flowed back under the seats, into vents, into spaces that shouldn't exist. The floor stilled. The air cleared. When emergency crews finally reached Coach 4, they found nothing but chaos. Scratches, blood, torn clothing, but no bats, not a single one. Every passenger bore tiny paired puncture marks along their ankles, wrists, and necks, except for 4 people. 4 passengers were untouched, calm and uninjured. Each of them said the same thing during questioning, word for word. They were already on the train in Miami. I'm telling you, they were already on the train in Miami when we boarded. Security footage from the Miami terminal was reviewed. At 12:41 a.m., Coach 4 sits alone on the platform. Something moves beneath it. Not individual animals, but a single black shape that climbs, thins, divides, and disappears into the train. 5 seconds of footage are missing. Coach 4 was removed from service for unexplained internal damage. Passengers were treated, monitored, reassured. After all, bat poop is very, very, very toxic. Months later, one of the untouched passengers was pulled over outside Jacksonville. When police opened his trunk, bats poured out, hundreds of them, silent and organized, vanishing into the trees. The man only said, "They ride north at night. They wake when the land gets quiet, and they don't need wings once they learn where to hide." Hey y'all, thanks for watching Wendy's Haunted Trains. Hope you enjoyed the story. It only gets better from here. Y'all be good. Much love, God bless, peace out. All stories written and narrated by Mr. Who.